Now, we all have to have a certain amount of pride.
Right.
I mean, I changed shirts 3 times today because the first shirt I had on made my belly look so big in there, you know, and then I'm trying to let my hair grow out. I keep my head shaved all the time. But I'm trying to let it grow out a little bit. And Janice wants me to do this 5 o'clock shadow thing. And I ain't really got all that figured out. And all that's a certain amount of pride.
We all have a little
so we
bit.
got to have a little bit, all right?
Yes.
But the pride early on in our life causes us to trade so much.
Mm-hmm.
And really, and I'm going to hit on something hard. Even when we talk about houses,
mm-hmm.
okay? I mean, if you have 8 bedrooms and 9.5 baths, I mean, that's an awful lot, okay? And I always think, who's going to clean that?
Right.
You know,
more you got to take care of. And which, you know, we had 4 bedrooms and a couple bathrooms. We had 3 boys. We had a lot of people coming over to spend the night. And, you know, just the other night I was sitting there with Brian and I said, we got all these bedrooms and all these bathrooms clean. And it's just me and you. There's no point to have to do this, you know, 2 acres to mow because we needed all this room for the kids to play. And now it's just stuff for us to mow. But you still try to hang on to it because you're like, well, you know, you got to leave something for these kids when you're gone, you know, the home place. But it's a lot of work for stuff that you really don't need. You know, they live a lot happier in other places sometimes because they just don't need all of the things that we have to have. So
I think the happiest we ever been when we downsized.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, you know, my front porch is almost as big as my house now. But we spend summer out there. And we have a table with chairs and we live on that front porch. And I think living out, well, let's hit on this. And it's all right anytime we disagree. Okay. I'm all right with it. Okay. I mean, I will think you're wrong, but we don't really disagree.
You've known me for a long time. It don't matter if people think I'm wrong.
Okay. So when we think about leaving something for our children, okay, I just don't really know. We think sometimes, and I think and I'm going to hit it in the hard. Okay. I think we use that a little bit. And we hold on, and it comes back to pride too in the end. And really, when you get to it, it's like, you know, I've got friends that are sitting with houses where they still have multiple bedrooms where their kids were there, and I'm thinking, you know, first thing is, you know, we talk about the eagle a lot, and when them babies start growing, they tear the feathers out so the thorns come through. Then that mother eagle don't go to the nest and check on the other eagle to see if it's got fish. Yeah. Okay. But what we do sometimes with our children, we mess them up.
We do.
Because when you think about the things that caused you to be as smart as you are now, it was the tough times.
Right.
It wasn't the good times.
Right.
And if somebody had been shoving food in your mouth, putting your coat on all the time, making sure your shoes are tied, you would have been dumb as a bowling ball.
Right.
Okay.
Right. And I think you're 100% right about that. I think our circumstances when we're younger sort of shape the way we view things. You know, my dad left when I was 14 years old.
Right.
You know, and I was so blessed you gave me a job at the restaurant because you knew we needed the money. Right. And we did, in which my mom worked. She worked like a dog, bless her heart, for us. And we never wanted for anything that I can ever recall. But I in my head now, I'm just like, well, I've got to give my kids this, and I got to give them this, and I got to give them this, and I got to give them this. And they've never asked me for anything. Right. But in my head, I'm like, you know, well, I need to do this for them, and I need to do this for them because I don't want them to have to, you know, try very hard for things. And which, you know, I don't want that to sound like I had to scrape, and we didn't. I mean, we made it fine. But you don't want your kids to have to sometimes go through the same thing that you went through. But I think that made me who I am today because it made me appreciate what I had. And again, when I talked about stepping back, just, you know, I was talking to Brian and I was like, you know, I really am so tired of this travel. I'm exhausted, but, you know, I don't want the kids to need something and then me not be able to give it to them. But then I thought, crazy. You know, they need to know what it's like to get stuff. You know, shoot, they don't need everything handed to them on a silver platter. But and like I said, they never asked me for anything.
We do the same thing. We laugh all the time because we talk about what we're going to do when our ship comes in. If our ship ever comes in, it's going to be a mess. But I mean, Janice and I talk about it, okay? And one time, you know, I said, what would you really make you happy? And I asked her. So what she said, I would like to go someplace and have every week and have them blow my hair out. I think that's the way she described it, okay? Where they do something to her hair. Maybe twice a week or do something, blow my hair out. And I said, you know what I would like to do? And that's all she wanted when her ship come in. And I said, I would like to have a new pair of socks to wear every day because I hate socks once you've worn them. I love them when they come out of the package and they're creased and you put them on. They feel so good. They cling to your feet and they got that crease. And I love that. Yeah. So for Christmas, she bought me 30 pair of socks. Okay. Yeah. So I thought, what else do I need?
Yeah.
But you know, when you think about life, you start thinking about what's really you really need and what really will make you happy. And I think sometimes with our kids, it's our heart, and we want to do stuff, okay? And we think, and I don't know if we can ever grip that. And I thought about this. You think about this one. I studied one time for a year on nothing but God the Father, okay? On nothing but God the Father, being my Father. And you think about in your life, the way you want to do for your kids, how much more that he wants to do for you.
Yes.
And you think about things in our life.